I remember the morning I stopped fighting sleep. I would been waking up late for months, rolling out of bed 15, sometimes 20 minutes before I needed to leave, living inside that foggy, unfinished feeling that just follows you around all day, like you showed up to your own life slightly too late. And one evening, almost on a whim, I came across 2 words in an old Ayurvedic text. 2 Sanskrit words I literally could not get out of my head. Brahma Muhurta. I had no idea those 2 words were about to quietly rearrange how I understood time itself. Let me tell you what they mean. And more importantly, let me tell you what they have been trying to tell us for thousands of years. There is a traveler in an old Vedic story. He has been walking 4 days, dusty roads, heavy pack, the kind of tiredness that goes into the bones. One night he stops at an ashram and the teacher asks him a simple question. When do you begin your journey each morning? The traveler says, when the sun is up, when I can see the road clearly. The teacher nods slowly, then says, by then, the best part of the road has already passed. The traveler does not understand. Not yet, but he will. So here is what Brahma Muhurta actually means. In Sanskrit, it literally translates to the time of Brahma. It is a 48-minute window that begins 1 hour and 36 minutes before sunrise and ends 48 minutes before sunrise. In the Vedic tradition, it is considered the most auspicious time for yoga, meditation, worship, and spiritual reflection. Brahma means the creator, ultimate knowledge. Muhurta means a unit of time. So Brahma Muhurta is basically the time period most perfect for perceiving the ultimate knowledge. Think about that for a second. The ancient rishis, sages who built this tradition across thousands of years, did not call this early morning. They did not say a good time to wake up. They called it the creator's time, which is extraordinary when you sit with it. They were saying that before the sun rises, before the world wakes and pulls you into its noise, that there's a window, a sacred window, and what you do inside that window shapes everything that follows. This connects to something called the 3 gunas. Before sunrise, Sattva guna dominates, Sattva representing clarity, balance, harmony. As daylight comes, Rajas kicks in and daily responsibilities start. Late night belongs more to Tamas, which brings heaviness. So this early morning window becomes like a bridge between darkness and light, a natural transition that symbolizes awakening inside the mind. This is not mythology. It is a philosophically mapped understanding of how consciousness moves through time. And here is what stopped me cold when I first got it. Modern science has been quietly arriving at the exact same conclusion. Here is the thing nobody really talks about. The ancient ones were not describing a spiritual preference when they called this hour sacred. They were describing a biological reality, a measurable, physiological truth about the human body that we are only now putting neuroscience language to. The brain is in an optimal state for learning and memory during pre-dawn hours. Alpha and theta brainwaves dominate during this period, creating ideal conditions for deep learning, creativity, and problem solving. Alpha and theta waves. These are the brain states that meditation teachers spend years training students to access. The states therapists associate with insight, openness, the dissolving of mental rigidity, and they just happen naturally, without effort, without training. In the hours just before dawn, the rishis knew this, not because they had EEG machines, because they sat in that stillness, generation after generation, and noticed what was possible there that was not possible anywhere else. There is more too. During Brahma Muhurta, oxygen levels in the air are at their peak. This enhances brain function, improves lung capacity, promotes cellular regeneration. The fresh air maximizes oxygen absorption, aids detoxification, boosts immunity, reduces stress. Research shows that high oxygen intake during early morning hours improves cognitive performance, sharpens memory, and enhances mental clarity. But here is the science I find most striking, the one that confirmed for me the ancient wisdom was not metaphor, it was biology. Cortisol, yeah, the stress hormone, follows a natural circadian rhythm that peaks in the early morning hours to help your body wake up naturally. The highest cortisol secretion happens in the second half of the night, with peak production occurring right there in the early morning. Your own body is preparing you for Brahma Muhurta every single night. Without you asking, without you knowing, your biology is quietly building towards this window. So the question was never whether this hour is special. The question is whether you are awake for it. And then there is what happens to the people who are. Harvard biologist Christopher Randler found that early risers tend to be more proactive, better at anticipating problems, solving them efficiently. Instead of waiting for direction, they take initiative, showing an entrepreneurial mindset that leads to greater productivity and career success. A study from the University of Toronto found that early risers report higher levels of happiness than night owls, possibly because their internal clocks align better with standard work and social schedules, reducing what scientists call social jet lag. I want to pause here, because I think we read stuff like this and immediately jump to the productivity angle. More output, better performance, competitive advantage. And sure, that is real. But I think it misses the deeper point. The people in these studies were not just more productive, they were happier. And I do not think the data fully captures why. I think the reason is this: they had time for themselves before the world had time for them. Most people begin their day already behind. The alarm goes off, the phone lights up, the demands arrive before a single quiet thought has formed. They spend the whole day reacting, responding. They fall into bed exhausted, not from doing what they chose to do, but from responding to everything that came at them. The person who wakes in Brahma Muhurta begins differently. They begin with themselves. Brahma Muhurta is not only about waking early. It reflects a deeper understanding that time carries quality. Some hours pull us outward into activity. Some gently draw us inward. The sacred hour before sunrise belongs to the second kind. This is what the Vedic tradition was really teaching. Not a productivity hack, not a morning routine, something far more profound than that. The idea that time is not uniform, that some hours have a different texture, a different quality of attention available in them than others, and that learning to live in alignment with that is not discipline, it is wisdom. I think of the great figures of history who built their inner lives in these hours, who wrote their sacred texts in this silence, who found clarity before dawn that carried them through everything after. Ancient rishis chose this period for meditation, mantra chanting, and scriptural study because inner silence just comes more easily then. Not because they were more disciplined than you, not because they were wired differently, but because they understood something we have largely forgotten. The world will always have a claim on you. From the moment the sun rises, the demands come, the notifications, the responsibilities, the noise. But before all of that, there is a window, 48-minute window, to be precise. And in that window, you belong entirely to yourself. Nobody prepares you for that. The first morning you truly rise in Brahma Muhurta, not to check your phone, not to rush into exercise or emails, but to just sit in the dark, breathing, being still. You realize something you cannot easily explain to anyone who has not felt it. You realize you have been meeting the world before you ever met yourself, answering questions before you even knew what you believed, giving your energy away before you had gathered any. During Brahma Muhurta, the mind is naturally calm, clear, and alert, no worldly disturbances yet. It is the best time for meditation, mantra chanting, self-reflection, because the brain is highly receptive and your ability to absorb and understand is at its peak. Studies in neuroscience back this up. Early morning practices enhance cognitive function, memory, and emotional stability. Morning rituals lead to reduced stress, improved cognitive function, better overall health. Research connects early rising to enhanced immune function, memory, and energy levels. And something the research kind of gestures at but cannot quite measure, it allows you to connect with yourself before the day disconnects you. The Ashtanga Hridaya, one of the foundational texts of Ayurvedic medicine, does not begin with herbal remedies or treatments for illness. It begins by describing the practice of rising during Brahma Muhurta, approximately 90 minutes before sunrise, as the foundation of Dinacharya, the daily regimen designed to improve physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The very first thing, before medicine, before diet, before anything else. Wake in the Creator's time. The ancient physicians of India were saying, everything else depends on how you begin. Get the beginning right, and the rest of the day has a different foundation. Let me come back to the traveler, the one who waited for the sun before he started walking. He followed the teacher's advice, began rising before dawn, not because he forced himself, but because slowly, as days passed, he felt the difference. The quality of thought available in that hour, the spaciousness, the way problems that felt enormous the night before seemed, in that quiet, almost manageable, almost small. One morning, sitting in the dark before the birds had started, he finally understood what the teacher meant. By the time the sun is up, the best part of the road has already passed, not because the rest of the day is worthless, but because the 1 hour when you are most fully yourself, when the world has not yet arrived to take you somewhere, that hour belongs to the pre-dawn, and most people sleep right through it. So two traditions, one ancient, one modern, pointing at the same quiet truth. And here is what I want to leave you with, not as instruction, not as a to-do list, but as a genuine question I have been sitting with and think is worth sitting with. You have 24 hours every day. Every person who has ever done something extraordinary had the same 24 hours you have. The question was never about having more time. It was always about which part of time you chose to inhabit first. Before the world finds you, before the day makes its demands, before you become a response to everything around you, there is a window, small, quiet, precisely timed. The ancient ones called it the Creator's time. They built entire civilizations of wisdom inside it. So what would happen to your life if you actually stepped into that window? Not tomorrow when things calm down. Not eventually. What would happen if you started tomorrow morning?